On Valentine's Day, my girlfriend messaged me, having dinner with my friends tonight. Let's celebrate tomorrow instead. I replied, of course. Then I posted a video of me donating the jewelry I bought to a shelter. The internet loved it until she saw it. I'm not the kind of guy who makes a big deal out of Valentine's Day. To me, it's a Tuesday. But my girlfriend of 3 years, Jessica, was the opposite. For her, Valentine's Day was the Super Bowl of relationships. A day for grand gestures, expensive gifts, and most importantly, a public performance of affection for her social media followers. I played along because it made her happy and I loved her. Or at least I thought I did. This year, I had gone all out. I'd made a reservation a month in advance at one of the best restaurants in the city. I'd ordered a ridiculous amount of flowers to be delivered to her office. And on my desk in a sleek dark blue box sat a diamond necklace that had cost me more than my first car. I was ready to play my part in the grand theater of her Valentine's Day. At around noon on the day itself, while I was in the middle of a client meeting, my phone buzzed. It was a text from her. Hey babe, so sorry to do this, but the girls are having a total meltdown about their boyfriends. We've decided to do an emergency Valentine's dinner tonight instead. I feel terrible, but they really need me. We'll do something tomorrow. I promise. Love you. I stared at the text for a full minute, the words blurring together. It wasn't the cancellation that hit me. It was the casual, almost breezy way she did it, the complete disregard for my time, for the plans I had made, the assumption that I would just be there tomorrow, waiting patiently, and the phrase emergency Valentine's dinner. I knew her friends. The only emergency they ever had was a sale at their favorite boutique. I'm a patient man. I'm a financial analyst. My entire life is about observing patterns. And I had been observing a pattern with Jessica for months. The increasing sense of entitlement. The way she would talk about her friends' expensive gifts with a pointed, jealous tone. The subtle but constant digs about my boring job and my lack of spontaneity. This text wasn't an anomaly. It was the final data point in a very clear trend line. I typed back a simple 2-word reply. Of course, then I put my phone down, excused myself from my meeting, and walked back to my office. I sat at my desk and looked at the blue jewelry box. $5,000 of compressed carbon, meant to be a symbol of my affection for a woman who had just traded it for a gossip session with her friends. A profound sense of clarity washed over me. The relationship wasn't just failing. It was a bad investment, and it was time to cut my losses. But I wasn't just going to walk away. She had made a public spectacle of her disregard for me. I was going to make a public spectacle of my newfound freedom, and I was going to use her own weapon, the court of public opinion, to do it. Update 1. The first part of my plan was simple. I called the restaurant and canceled our reservation. I called the florist and had them redirect the flowers not to my home, but to the front desk of the nearest children's hospital. Then I took the jewelry box and left my office for the day. My destination was a place called The Haven, a well-known and highly respected women's shelter on the other side of town. It was a place for women and their children who were escaping abusive situations. A place that ran on donations and goodwill. I walked in and asked to speak to the director, a kind-faced, non-nonsense woman in her 60s named Margaret. I introduced myself and explained why I was there. I told her I had a Valentine's Day gift that was no longer needed by its intended recipient and that I wanted to donate it to the shelter. I told her they could use it however they saw fit, raffle it off at their next fundraiser, give it to a woman who was starting a new life with nothing. Margaret was taken aback. She opened the box, her eyes widening at the sight of the necklace. "This is incredibly generous," she stammered. "Are you sure?" "I've never been more sure of anything in my life," I said. Then I made my real move. I pulled out my phone. "Margaret," I said, "I know this is a strange request, but would you mind if I filmed this? I'm not going to show your face or the faces of any of the residents. I just want to say a few words. I think it might do some good." She was hesitant, but I explained my reasoning. I told her I wanted to use a moment of personal disappointment to create something positive to encourage other people to think about giving back. She eventually agreed. I set up my phone on a small table framing the shot, so it was just me, Margaret's hands holding the open jewelry box, and the shelter's logo on the wall behind me. Then I hit record. I kept it short, simple, and sincere. I didn't mention Jessica by name. I didn't talk about being dumped. I just told the truth, framed in the best possible light. Hi everyone, I began. My name is Alex. Today is Valentine's Day, and like a lot of people, I had plans. I bought these flowers and this necklace for someone I care about very much. But life happens and plans change. And I was left with a choice. I could be sad, or I could try to turn this into something good. I gestured to the necklace. This was supposed to be a symbol of love for one person, but now it's going to be a symbol of hope for many. I'm here at The Haven, a wonderful organization that helps women and children get back on their feet. I'm donating this to them in the hopes that it can help them continue their incredible work. I looked directly into the camera. So, if your Valentine's Day didn't go as planned today, I just want to say you're not alone. And maybe, just maybe, the best way to heal a broken heart is to help someone else mend theirs. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I stopped recording, thanked Margaret for her time, and left. I drove home, edited the video slightly to add the shelter's website and donation link, and then I posted it, not on my personal page, but on a popular local news and events page on Facebook and on Twitter with a few relevant hashtags, #EdValentine'sDay, pay it forward, and the name of our city. Then I turned off my phone, poured myself a glass of whiskey, and waited for the internet to do its work. It didn't take long. By the time I woke up the next morning, the video had exploded. It had been shared thousands of times. The local news page had made it their top story. My face was everywhere. The comments were a tidal wave of positive reinforcement. This is what a real man looks like. Someone's ex is crying in a corner right now. What a huge mistake she made. I just donated to The Haven in your name, Alex. Thank you for the inspiration. The story had a hero, me, a villain, the anonymous heartless ex, and a good cause. It was perfect viral catnip. By mid-morning, my phone was ringing off the hook with calls from local news stations wanting to do a story on the Valentine's Day angel. I politely declined all of them, saying I didn't want the attention. This, of course, only made me look more humble and heroic. The first contact from Jessica came around noon. It was a single baffled text. My phone is blowing up. What did you do? I didn't reply. An hour later, she called. I let it ring out. The voicemail she left was a masterpiece of contradictions. She sounded confused, furious, and completely incapable of processing that I had made such a big move without her approval. Alex, what the hell is this? Her voice was sharp, almost shaking with anger. My mom just called me asking if we broke up. That video is everywhere. You gave away my necklace. The one you bought for me. You had no right. Call me back now. Her necklace. The same one she had never seen, never touched, never even knew existed. The entitlement was astonishing. I stayed silent, waiting. I knew this wouldn't stop at anger. It would escalate into a full-blown PR war. And I was ready. Update 2. The counterattack started that same afternoon. Jessica, unable to reach me directly, turned to the battlefield she trusted most, social media. She posted a long emotional story on Instagram, complete with a teary selfie. It was pure fiction. She claimed we had a minor argument, and that in a manipulative rage, I staged the donation video just to humiliate her. She said the necklace had already been gifted to her, and I stole it back to create my self-serving spectacle. Her friends, the ever-loyal choir, jumped in at once. Share her post, they piled on, he's always been controlling. This isn't charity, it's abuse. She ditched him for one night, and he retaliated. They painted me as the villain, her as the victim. Clever move, except it was built on lies. And I had proof that I didn't engage them. That would only fuel the drama. Instead, I waited. A local blogger, who had praised my donation, reached out for comment on Jessica's claims. I responded with a calm statement and 2 pieces of evidence. MY's statement was straightforward. I'm saddened by these false accusations, though not surprised. My goal was only to turn a disappointing moment into something positive for a good cause. The relationship ended after I received a Valentine's Day text from my then-girlfriend canceling our plans. The necklace was never hers. It was in my possession until I donated it. Then I attached 2 screenshots. First, the timestamp receipt of the necklace, bought Valentine's morning. Second, Jessica's text to me from that same day, canceling our date. The blogger updated her article within the hour. The new headline cut deep. Valentine's Angels X cries theft. Receipts tell another story. The article laid out the timeline side by side. My purchase at 10 a.m., her cancellation at noon, my donation at 3 p.m. A clear chain of facts that shredded her story. Public opinion flipped instantly. Her Instagram turned into a firestorm. Comments flooded in. So you're mad he donated a necklace you didn't even know existed after you blew him off? You didn't fumble the bag. You threw it in a charity fire pit. This is how you become the city's most hated person in 24 hours. But I wasn't done. I had a feeling the emergency girls' dinner wasn't the whole truth. Her outrage, her lies, it all felt like overcompensation. The same day I donated the necklace, I hired a private investigator. I gave him her friends' names and one instruction. Find out where they really were on Valentine's night. The IT took the PI less than a day. He pulled credit card records and matched them with social media tags. Two of Jessica's friends really had been together at a trendy new spot, but Jessica wasn't with them. She was across town at a far more expensive, intimate restaurant. And she wasn't alone. She was with her ex, Ben, the same man she had sworn was long gone. The PI's associate snapped a photo. Jessica and Ben holding hands across the table. That picture became my insurance, my ace in the hole. I waited for the right moment to use it. Final update. Jessica's downfall wasn't explosive. It was a slow, painful collapse. After her public humiliation, she wiped her social media, but the damage was permanent. The story was too messy, too viral. Overnight, she turned into a local pariah. Her friends, the same ones who had rushed to defend her online, quickly abandoned ship. They claimed she had lied to them and swore they never knew she was with her ex. Then came her career. She worked in PR, an industry where reputation is everything. With her name dragging through the mud, her company quietly let her go. Unemployed, cut off from her social circle, Jessica still had her parents' support, at first. But after her father, a respected businessman, lost a major client over the scandal, even they ran out of patience. They gave her an ultimatum: get a real job, pay your own bills, and publicly apologize to me. She refused, clinging to her victim story. So they kicked her out 2 months after Valentine's Day. She showed up at my door. It was close to midnight. She looked nothing like the confident, entitled woman I had once known. She looked hollow, desperate. She cried, apologized, swore she had made a mistake, claimed Ben meant nothing, promised she still loved me. I let her talk for 5 minutes straight. When she finally stopped, I pulled out my phone and showed her the photo, the one of her holding hands with Ben on Valentine's night. Her face broke. The last lie stripped away. I know everything, Jessica, I said quietly. I've known since the start. She dropped into begging. A place to stay, some money, anything. I shook my head. You had a home, I told her. You had someone who loved you, and you threw it all away for dinner with your ex. You made your choice. Now you live with it. I closed the door. In the end, my revenge was never about the necklace. It was about truth and value. She traded loyalty for a fleeting thrill. I chose self-respect over lies. And in the end, we both got exactly what we deserved.